Hello and welcome back to the Level Cap Podcast, your podcast for Level 99 Games news, anything or otherwise. I am
So
your
it's
host.
just the Level 99 Games podcast. It's not for anything in particular. It's just for Level 99 Games. I mean, we're not going to give any other kind of news.
Well, no, it's like, news and things that aren't the news, but still about Level 99 games.
But that's everything. That's everything
But-
about Level 99. There's the news and there's not the news. Like, why the distinction?
Okay, maybe next time I should just say news and then not the otherwise.
But there is otherwise.
No. We have to get
We'll talk further. We'll talk further about this on a later episode.
You need the marketing department to fix our slogan.
I think that's you.
Oh dang, it is me. Okay, fire me, rehire me under a different name, and then
So that you don't have this responsibility any longer.
yes, change my entire job description to preclude fixing the slogan.
But that's only changing a tiny part of your job description, not the entire thing. You're doing the same thing again.
Oh no. This is a chronic sickness. Actually, I need help. I need help. Please send help.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, as usual, I'm your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me is the amazing Brad Talton Jr., president of Level 99 Games.
You know, I'm here every week. Don't introduce me as amazing every week. I can't take it.
Okay, do I just introduce you as
I'm gonna blush too much over here, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Senpai noticed you.
I'm just the ordinary Brad Talton Jr.
Oh, are there other Brad Talton Juniors?
Probably.
Oh my
Probably.
goodness.
It's not that uncommon.
Really, it's not that uncommon? Okay, I mean, I'm not American, so I wouldn't know.
Talton's not that uncommon.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so the regular Brad Talton Jr., president of Level 99 Games.
Thank you.
All right. We have an amazing docket for all of you listeners tonight. We're going to, of course, talk about our character of the week, games we've been playing, answer some questions you guys have posed to us through our social medias like Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, and so on and so forth. And of course, we're going to give you guys some extra news from Level 99 Games. Maybe not otherwise. We'll figure that out later. But for now, let's catch up a little bit. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well. We just got back from PAX South, so this is being recorded on February 1st. We got back from PAX South. We're unpacking. We're getting ready to ship Millennium Blades, and that's coming into port. What else is new and cool? Short story contest is up, and yeah, life is good. Things are going along.
Did you get the PAX box?
No, I didn't get any kind of PAX sickness. Chad did. Our programmer Chad got a bit of some serious con crud on the way back, and we had to ferry him home. He still drove actually a lot of the way, more than me probably.
Oh.
But
You make the sick man drive?
well, it's more like he insists on driving.
Oh, okay. That's his okay.
But it's neither here nor there. We had a good show. It was a good show. I really enjoyed South. I got to talk with a lot of cool people. I got to meet Mike and Jerry. And that's Gabe and Tycho, the two creators of Penny Arcade. Yeah, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And we'll be going back. We may even do PAX Prime if we can still get in for this year.
Yes. I mean, not like I'll be able to go, but I'm sure some of the listeners will be able to go there and, go up to you and say, "Hey, I listened to your podcast. I've never played any of your games." I would be very impressed if somebody ever did that.
There were a lot of people. There were actually a lot of people at South that knew us that were that came up to the booth and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we've played everything. We really love Millennium Blades. I can't wait for Seventh Cross." That was kind of that happened a lot. And I try to play a game with people when they come up to the booth. They're like, "I really really like this game." And if it's not Millennium Blades or Argent, I try and sit down and play a game of of BattleCon or Pixel Tactics or Cell Swords or something with people, so that because it's better than just taking a selfie. We get to sit down and chat and meet each other and all that.
Have a genuine experience, with the other person.
Genuine experience. So I think that's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy doing that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you had a nice in between our recordings, because I've just been school, thesis, school, thesis.
Enjoy it while you can. It only lasts so long.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, like, maybe I don't know the hard responsibilities of an adult life yet.
It's
But
just that
yeah.
your life becomes so much less directed, and it's one thing to do work that's in front of you. It's another thing to figure out what work you have to do and then do it.
So it's like
That can be a lot tougher.
analysis paralysis, but for real life.
To some extent.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's talk about some games we've recently been playing, Brad. So what have you been playing since our recordings?
So I've been playing a lot of cooperative, like PvE type of games. We played Space Alert. I played Space Alert for the first time.
Okay.
Which, for those of you who don't know Space Alert, it's like a real time game, and you're on this spaceship and everything's going wrong, and you screw up for about 10 minutes, and then you spend about 20 minutes figuring out why you screwed up as you resolve all the different systems on the ship, and you blow up. We just narrowly blew up, but because somebody miscalculated with the battery power in our lasers, and our lasers ran out of batteries and couldn't shoot down an enemy ship. But that was Space Alert, and that was a lot of fun. And then after that, we played a game called London Dread, which is also a real-time cooperative game, but it's like a mystery puzzle-solving sort of game where you are in England and there's a killer on the loose, and you are investigating different places, trying to turn up the different plots of the villain, and then use and then complete those stories to get points, then use the points in the final showdown with the villain. We had some interesting discussions about these because the game of London Dread can end up with this big dice roll off, and my friends were like, well, this is really kind of anticlimactic to end this long hour long adventure game with a dice roll off. And I felt the same way when we played the World of Warcraft adventure board game. That that you do this giant dice roll against Kael'thas, and I rolled like 30 dice at once, and each of my friends was rolling 30 dice against Kael'thas, and we managed to beat Kael'thas in round one. But what else could it be? If the resolution is in the dice system, you can't do an entirely different game just for the final boss. It kind of has to be a dice roll.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I've been thinking a little more about these mechanics of how you resolve the final battle, how you make a climax in a game, especially as I'm working on 7th Cross and thinking about, to make the battle not just seem kind of rote by that time you get there. Yeah, it all becomes very meh by the time you get to the final battle.
Yeah, that's understandable, because it's like, if like you just start scaling the numbers, it's like it doesn't it's like it's a difference in scale but not a difference in kind. It's like it doesn't feel as epic as it should be. You're just rolling more dice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the stakes don't always come through. But that's kind of, it's kind of how it has to be, because you can only have so many mechanics in a game, and your final boss can't be too much different from the rest of the game. And also, unlike a video game, when players lose, they lose. You can't go through a 30-minute to an hour-long segment again to fight the final boss. Typical boss fight in a video game is like 5 minutes, 10 minutes long, and then if you lose that, you're right back in the action again. But in a board game, the final segment of the game might be like 30 minutes long, and you're not going to replay it if you lose. That's quite a tall order, especially if the boss is really tough and it takes 2 or 3 tries.
That's fair. I've been playing some Betrayal at the House on the Hill, and I think that's one of those kind of board games where the end game is actually really interesting, because the way they made it, right, is that the end game is actually separated into various scenarios depending on certain contexts and triggers that are active in the game at the same time. So, if like these people are alive and this item is revealed, blah blah blah, it tells you like, go to this ending, go to that ending, or go to this encounter, go to that encounter. And most of the encounters are like very different. Sometimes it just superpowers the betrayer, and you have to kill them. But sometimes it's a different entire encounter, and you have to get this item somewhere, and something so forth, right? So I think that's like something that that's a really interesting way to kind of quote unquote avoid making the end game rote, because it's still pretty much the same systems, but the end game's not going to be the same all the time, and it's not just like a giant scale, a scale up of numbers, because most of those encounters usually involve solving the problem in different ways, especially if there's a betrayer or if there's no betrayer or whatever, right? So it's like, I think Betrayal at the House on the Hill is a very interesting way to kind of quote unquote circumvent making the final encounter rote. What do you think?
Yeah, they do it really well in Betrayal. I've played quite a few of the scenarios. I think that some of them can be a bit heavy. Some of them are just right. The only issue is that you do have to learn a new rule set every single game,
Yeah, that's true.
and so for a lot of players that can be really daunting. But yeah, and sometimes, well, sometimes you set it up and then the players walk out the front door and leave, because that's that's a thing that you can do in a lot of these scenarios. But I don't know. I think Betrayal is a certain kind of model, and I think it works really well for what it does. I know that Selinger created another game as the designer of Betrayal, and he's doing another one called Apocrypha, I believe,
Oh, okay.
which
I haven't
is
heard of
like
that one.
another horror adventure game that I think is supposed to be kind of a spiritual successor to Betrayal. So we'll see if he fixes some of the issues and improves on some of the gameplay in that. I'm looking forward to it myself.
All right. All right. So let's move on to our character of the week. Our character of the week this week is a character very special to me, because I actually playtested this character a lot. And I mean a lot back in the old days of Devastation's playtesting days. And it's Joel. So, Brad, can you tell us a little bit more about Joel Calmore? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, I think you get it right.
Yes.
So Joel is a professional monster hunter. He comes from the western part of Sanghalim, which is the desert country in Indians, and he is a master of many different kinds of weapons and monster hunting tools.
Mm-hmm.
So his job is that he takes on these commissions from the government to go and kill these big monsters that are terrorizing the different villages out in the desert. And so he goes out on the expeditions and kills monsters. It's a bit like it's a bit Monster Hunter inspired. I won't lie. Um, but he's a pretty cool character, and he's a bit of a braggart. Some people say he's known to tell tall tales.
Oh.
He is married to Vanna, the from Battlecon War, the first game,
Yep.
via an arranged marriage,
Oh, it's
and
arranged. Okay.
mhm. and they live in Imperial City, which is the capital of Sanghalim. But yeah, that's most of the background for Joel.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of the mechanics, I guess you could tell us more than you know you
So
could tell us more since you tested him quite a lot.
yeah, I tested him quite a lot. Joel's this basically is a really interesting character because he is one of the first characters to introduce the concept of changing a core mechanic to the game to a really huge degree, because he lets you swap out bases for his unique bases, right? So it's entirely possible that a Joel you're fighting has no shot, has no drive, has no burst or whatever, and instead has this unique base that it's not necessarily game changing, but the mere fact that his base set is not the same as yours basically kind of turns the game on its head, because it's like you can't rely on the same base pentagon to work 100% of the time anymore, because his unique bases aren't one-to-one correspondent replacements for any of the other bases most of the time. So this makes
Yeah,
Joel a very
that matrix just changes,
yeah.
and then you have to recalculate for all of his unique moves, which are often quite different than the standard ones.
Yeah, and they all hurt a lot. And I think Joel's biggest thing is that his Monster Hunter lore really fits into his entire kit, because he has a bunch of unique bases that each do very different things. One of them's like hits really really hard but is really really slow, but you have the other one that's like it hits really really soft but it stuns people automatically on hit because it ignores stun guard. Um, and then all of his styles actually do a certain thing that negates a specific trigger or specific thing your opponent can do. So he has something that stops opponents from doing before activating effects, something that stops opponents from moving him and doing on hit effects. So it's like he basically has a tool for the job. He has a tool for
Yeah,
any
he's
job.
definitely a toolbox sort of fighter, and each one of those bases is a different weapon from that toolkit, a different one of his different hunter tools, and his armor and extra and trinkets and other gear are represented by the styles.
Oh,
I think you
really?
nailed it pretty closely. Yeah.
So his so he has like a magic resistant armor or something.
Yeah, he has all kinds of different armors and such to protect him from whatever monsters are around. And then you have weapons that are useful for for dealing with certain kinds of creatures, either your big beasties, but also you might have spirits, elementals, that kind of stuff. And so you have to be able to deal with all kinds of different creatures. And that's why he uses such a wide array of different items.
Are his items made from the fallen body parts of other monsters he's killed?
Not all. I think maybe one or two. Probably more the armor, leathers and stuff are going to be made from monsters. But there are. I mean, I think in Indians there are items that you can get from monsters, but most items are going to be that are useful for either alchemy or weapon crafting or armor crafting are going to be natural resources like metals and materials.
Oh, okay.
Not so much monster parts.
Does Indians
Maybe
have?
alchemy, but he's not an alchemist. So,
Oh, yeah, that's true. That was Lixus. That was a few episodes back.
yeah. But you can sell them. You can certainly sell them.
And just buy. I just what
And
currency
just
do
buy
they
and
use
just
in
buy
Indians?
nice. It depends on the country, but the main currency is called damari. It's a heavy metal
Damari.
coin from Relicor. It's about 1 ounce of solid gold.
Oh, okay. See, we're getting into the nitty gritty of the lore. Actually,
Yeah, I should just that. Yeah, this is all from the RPG book that isn't published.
it should be Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's go back to some Joel. Let's talk about some mechanics, because I don't think Joel's storyline is as quote unquote deep as everyone else's. He does get a few cool moments in the VN, but we can't talk about that right now.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, but trust me, guys, Joel is awesome. But let's talk about some of the mechanics, and I really want to bring this up. When we were testing, I found out about actually not just me, but a lot of the playtesters found out about dual wield dash.
Oh yeah. So some background. So dual wield is an attack where Joel plays 2 cards down, and then after he executes it, he plays another base, and then he does the second move with dual wield. Dual wield on its own is a pretty weak style. It gives you negative power. But when combined with dash, you can move past an opponent, dodge their attack, and then follow up with something else. And because dash is so fast, you have a pretty strong likelihood of going first on that second attack.
Yep.
And this is going to change a little bit now with
Dodge.
With dodge, since his speed will go down to 3, but he'll still get the dodge effect since that start of beat movement.
Actually, he won't, because I think you guys literally put a text on dual wield that prevents us from switching sides with opponents.
Oh yeah, right. My bad. I'm forgetting because I'm not the common Joel player. But yes, we during testing that you found that exploit, we took it out so he can't move past you
Christ.
while using dual wield. So you still get the attack at speed 9, but you don't get the attack at you don't get the dodge effect anymore.
Yeah, so I point this out because I was talking about this with one of the community members before, and this is one of those things where I said that Brad and co probably looked at this and it wasn't intended, but they decided to keep it anyway. Is that really the case, or was dual wield's ability to abuse dash really part of that? You were thinking of that interaction when you made the style.
We certainly considered it, and we were like, well, we don't know if this is going to be broken or not, but let's start in testing and find out. And I think that's a pretty common policy, is you see something and you suspect maybe it's going to be a little too strong, but let's let the playtesters decide rather than making the judgment and cutting off our design space right at the beginning.
Okay.
But I mean, you can still do quite a lot with it. My favorite move is actually to disengage back through spaces and shoot with the with like your hand cannon or one of your or your shot, and that does pretty good amount of damage, and also usually gets you out of the way of whatever your opponent's doing.
Yep. It's really strong, and I think the shift to dodge actually makes this play significantly weaker, but also kind of frees up some design, quote unquote, play space for Joel. So I'm gonna gush a bit because I mained Joel for a while, and I realized that a lot of Joel's capabilities or quote unquote power budget was basically sunk into dual wield dash into Rune Blade slash Iron Star slash Strike, right? Because, who wouldn't play a 9 prio attack with range plus 0 to 3 on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his power budget was being eaten there. But I think the biggest issue was that because you were basically always playing dual wield dash every single rotation, dash was never free for you to use with any of your other styles. And it always had to go with dual wield because it was just that good, right? By quote unquote nerfing it to dodge, you don't get to do dual wield dodges anymore because they're horrible. It's like you might as well play burst at that point.
Well,
And
I don't know, because the movement is still start a beat and it's forward or back, so you could use it to lunge in on someone like Rokyuk, or you could use it to roll out against somebody who's a really good melee like Pendros.
Yeah, that's
so I think there's still going to be some use for it.
Yeah, I think there's still gonna be some use for it, but I do think that you're better off playing it with like Slayers so that you can guarantee that free extra base into your hand. But I think the biggest change here is that because dual wield is no longer completely relegated to being dual wield dash, you actually get to use it for its secondary purpose, which was good but never deemed as good as doing dual wield dash, and that's using it as a pseudo cancel, which is so good. It's like I did this entire matrix on it. I'm a nerd, so I spent like I spent like 30 minutes of my life figuring out if Joel had a specific set of bases. Let's say that the opponent just has all 5 bases in their hand, of course, not including dodge. Would Joel be able to beat that if he plays dual wield grasp? And the answer was yes. And I am amazed that Joel can actually, quote unquote, completely counter the entire alpha base set with just dual wield grasp. It's insane, and I love it. I analyzed it, and it's just so good. So I feel like
I'm surprised we haven't seen him more at the tournaments, but he doesn't tend to be a top contender at Worlds each year.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because people saw that the dual wield dash isn't going to be a thing anymore, so they're like, nah, let's not. Or
maybe, I don't know. Cherry and Tatsumi and Schecter tend to show up a lot, so it may be like high statted characters or high like really heavy disruption, which all 3 of those are good at.
Yeah, I think it's that plus the fact that maybe like Joel is just kind of boring and that people don't want to use him. He seems boring.
No, he's just got really solid fundamentals.
Yeah, I mean like Ryu's that kind of character, like solid fundamentals, but a lot of people find him boring because he's not like Akuma, or he's not like he's not Sagat or something like that, right? He doesn't have quote unquote interesting things. He's your everyman, and like Joel is the epitome of like jack of all trades, master of none kind of character. And I feel like his versatility is really, really, really good. And I really encourage a lot of people to play him more. So,
Really?
Yeah, really. Really. No, sorry. I'm a huge Joel fan. Like,
okay.
I tested him so much. Like, he's in my, like...
He's fun. He's fun.
Yeah,
I'd pull him out, too.
He's in my top 5. He's in my top 5
I liked
favorite.
his, my favorite was his appearance at 7-card Slugfest, though.
Oh, yeah.
In that game, he does a bunch of everybody has a bunch of punch cards, and Joel has all these punches that do like really high numbers, but when you flip them over, they all say 0 on the other side, and they're just bluffs. And so you got to be real careful that when he throws a punch, that he's actually going to do the damage with it, and not just and is not just baiting you into following up on his punch.
Yeah, because you said he was a braggart, right? So it's like it fits perfectly. It makes more sense.
Not quite at that Trias level, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's Trias. Oh my life.
Yeah, Trias.
I thought it was Trias. Oh no.
That's not Trias. Trias.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you guys liked our character of the week, do please tell us in our social medias, in the comment sections down below, or any of those avenues who you want to hear from us next. And as Brad said before, tell us whether or not you like more the story parts or like the mechanical analysis parts, or maybe, more of the back behind the scenes parts, where we talk about how we were playtesting the character, how the character was designed, and so on and so forth. Right, Brad?
Yeah, we're trying to kind of figure out what kind of segments we want to do and how we want to focus on them, and also what people are enjoying the most. So your comments will help us to improve future shows. So please leave a comment. If you don't, future shows will continue to be as they are, which may or may not be okay with you. But even if it is okay with you, tell us, because we like to know that we're doing okay, and not just wonder about it.
Yeah, literally commenting can only be good for you and us. So it's like it's a no-brainer. It's like literally there you lose nothing.
Yep.
You lose nothing.
Everyone's life is improved by comments.
Yes, everyone's life is improved by comments. Anyway, so let's move on to our next segment.
It's nice comments.
Nice comments, please.
Comments.
I mean, like,
don't be like, like, Marco, your voice is dumb. Like, that would not be.
oh wow, Brad.
Really nice.
Oh, that hurts.
I didn't say that. I was simulating what a comment might be.
Oh, you mean
someday?
You have this fictional straw man that just insults me? Is that it?
Yeah, it's not even you. It's another Marco. No, it's a straw man insulting another straw man that happens to be named Marco.
Oh, okay. So I guess this kind of infighting.
So that wasn't even directed. That wasn't even figuratively directed at you.
Oh, okay. Just making sure, or else I would have been so sad. So let's move on to our next segment, some 99 questions, which again aren't 99 questions until we reach episode 33. So we're like like almost 1/6 there.
Yeah,
I guess.
we're reaching that. We're making progress.
We're making progress.
Progress is ongoing.
All right. So let's ask you some questions. They're not going to be that long, Brad. I mean, it really depends on how long you want to do. So here,
if I ramble, stop me.
Yeah. Here's some interesting questions that I pulled up from Reddit in the thread that we were asking, and they ask, Brad, what do you feel like is the greatest challenge in publishing board games?
I think that the biggest challenge is getting all of the dates together and getting all of the logistics together. There's a lot of different steps in the process from production or pre-production to delivery, and I'm still getting a handle on all of it. Even after 5 years, I still sometimes don't get everything done right on time, or unexpected things still show up. And so getting everything together, but also dealing with it in the right way when things don't get together, is probably the biggest challenge of the industry, at least for me.
Yeah, I can understand that, because dates are a huge pain in the butt, especially when delays happen and unforeseen events. It's just how about this one? So, Brad, what do you think is your biggest weakness as a designer, and how does that factor into your designing of your games?
Well, if you want to know my weakness, it's probably so they can exploit it and use it against me.
Oh, yeah.
So
what if this is an interview?
What
if this is an interview? What's your biggest weakness?
I hate questions like that at a job interview. That's terrible. My biggest weakness, I think, what would I say? My biggest weakness is that I have no weaknesses, and it leads to overconfidence.
Oh no.
No. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think there are a lot of things that I can improve on. Probably my biggest weakness is not knowing when to quit on a design. I end up doing a little bit too much and adding too much to a game, and not just saying, okay, this is the product, and we can put the other stuff in this expansion. I just I keep coming up with things, and it's after it's time to quit, and I don't want to do playtesting. I want to just do more of the creative stuff. And so
okay.
yeah, so I guess that's probably my biggest weakness, is that I don't enjoy playtesting as much as I ought to for my job.
Okay, yeah. As for somebody who publishes and designs board games, hates playtesting. Okay, now you guys know that. Let's exploit it at some point.
Well, that's why I have playtesting teams, so that you guys can help me out with that stuff.
That's true.
We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and you can't expect even me to do everything. So I like to get other people involved, and I enjoy playtesting. I just don't like sitting down to playtest.
Okay, I understand. Oh, and here's the last one. How is Wanderers of Indians doing?
Wanderers is good. We're in the process of getting the art done for that. It's almost the art is almost finished up, and we're gonna do a new playtest version once we get trials finished up. So Wanderers probably will not have a Kickstarter though. We're probably just gonna go straight to press with
Oh,
Wanderers.
really? Okay, wow.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna be doing other things during that time slot, and Wanderers is not gonna be super expensive. So well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to commit to that entirely, but that's what I'm looking at now. Is maybe we'll just make it a game without make the game without going to Kickstarter.
All
For
right.
that one.
All right. So that pretty much does it for our 99 questions. Again, if you guys have any questions for us, but mostly Brad, because mostly Brad, you guys can post it on our social medias, ask us on Reddit, ask us on Twitter, ask us on Tumblr, post it on this blog site if you're on the Level 99 Games blog website, and we will do our best to eventually get to them and answer them. And finally, let's move on to our final segment, News 99, where we all get to hear some wonderful, amazing news from Brad himself. Brad, do you have any interesting news for us today?
Well, you may be playing it up a bit because I don't think my news is particularly wonderful, but we do have Millennium Blades has come into port, and and that's on its way to the unloading dock. So we still probably have about a week and a half out, to 2 weeks before it starts shipping out into backers. But I'm really excited. Set rotation looks really good, and everything's going to go out right away, and then the rest of things will make it to stores over the course of the next 5 months. So, looking forward to that. Yeah.
Anything else?
As far as that, nope. Just working on V10 at 7th Cross, and getting ready for the Gamma Trade Show, which is in March.
Okay.
But yeah, things have slowed down a little bit, which will give us time to tackle upcoming games and to start getting stuff ready for press. So I'm pretty excited about getting back into the loop of things after PAX South. And yeah, that's all the news from Lake Level 99 be gone.
Lake level. You own a lake? Man, you're board game money, dude.
Wait, no, I don't.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. Maybe that was a really poor Lake Wobegon reference, but
Yeah.
let's see if the fans get it.
Okay, well, I won't get it because I'm not American and I probably haven't watched this show you're
That's true. You
referring
haven't
to.
listened to enough American public radio to get that joke.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I don't think I've ever listened to American Public Radio, period. But that pretty much does it for this episode of the Level Cap podcast. Again, I'm sure you guys enjoyed listening to this, because if you're watching this episode, you've probably watched all the previous ones, and you've probably liked them enough to watch this one.
That's true. If you're not enjoying it by this point, then you just enjoy your suffering, and so we'll support you in that.
If you're into that, I like, if you want to just suffer, it's fine. So long as you get to hear the news and listen to Brad and I talk about random stuff. Again, it has been me, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, hosting alongside Brad Talton Jr., normal president of Level 99 Games.
Thank you. Normal.
Normal president, or mundane president of Level 99 Games.
Okay, that works. I like it.
And again, we hope to see you guys next week. Bye!
Till then.